kind of asked each other, should we try and do something different in terms of form or experiment with some things? And, you know, discussing it with just came to the conclusion that it would be interesting to do like a triptych in the end.
Do you think you can do it?
And what was quite important at some point was the fact that I kept thinking about the same actors playing different parts, one different part in each story. And that kind of led us to write the 3 stories individually, like show them one after the other instead of like watching those 3 stories in parallel.
Some of them want to abuse you.
This isn't love.
Some of them want to be abused.
For the most part, tried to stay open to the fact that it was going to feel like 3 distinct stories that would tie together. However, he made them tie together in the end. Obviously, there are themes that are resonant throughout.
I love you.
You get so much information in the design and the situation and the specificity of it doesn't remind you of anything, so it demands a certain kind of attention, a certain kind of openness.
Hi.
We might all be in danger.
It pulls you in rather than sort of and invites you in, which, you know, I love all different types of films, but it's just a completely different experience when you're forced to bring yourself to it, and yeah, it's both unsettling and kind of liberating as an actor.
And it hit me hard.
What concerns us is to give enough information that people have to work with instead of being totally indifferent to that. But at the same time, allow that level of mystery in order to intrigue people and have them engage with the film more actively and try and figure out things themselves instead of feeding, you know, every part of information ourselves. So I think that's, you know, the balance that we're always trying to strike.
There was a very, very clear intention with what the story was. So it's not like, you know, everything was just like, you know, flipping on at the hair of a dime just out on a whim. But at the same time, there was, yes, it was alive in that, like, things happen and they were accepted as part of the world.
Open your eyes.
I think it's like this free-falling feeling that's exhilarating and ultimately rewarding because it's like, oh yeah, okay, I guess that works. But certainly, like, I don't know, a little bit of a challenge in that.
Yeah.
I think actors are always kind of reckoning with the fact that you don't have control, right? You're just doing your best. And I think this is like that on steroids. It's a very like, okay.
Good afternoon, Robert. Don't just stand there, sit down. Were you waiting long?
No, 15 minutes or so.
Your hair's nice like that. Don't get it cut. Let it grow a little longer. And you've lost more weight, I think. Skinny men are the most ridiculous thing there is.
He has no interest whatsoever in defining anything because then you're locked in to that. And so it truly feels more about exploring and following your instincts and following all of the other amazing people working on it as well.
Because sometimes when it's too recognizable or it's too talked, it's done. It's done, and then it's only the doing. But it's the doing that is so conscious of what you're trying to convey that it dies. So I think you always have to be not just off balance, you always have to be kind of not knowing to really catch that moment of surprise, or not even surprise, catch the life of it. And Yorgos sets you up in such a way that happens over and over and over again. He's really a genius at doing that. And when he does it, you know, with a character with a big arc, like Bella Baxter, for example, or some of the roles that she plays in this movie, it's a beautiful thing to watch. We've gone over this before. You must put on a few pounds. I told you that last time.
But I have.
You most certainly have not. You're even skinnier now. We'll have to take another look at your eating plan for the week. It's probably why I'm not a director, you know. Play the scene, be there, let it happen. That's a little bit my thing. I mean, if there's something to prepare, you know, I'm always prepared, but sometimes... Professional. Yeah, I'm a professional.
Damn straight.
I'm a professional. I don't have another job.
One of the things that is so great, I don't think that there's ever like a prescribed intention for where it's meant to go or land. You know, I don't think it's like, well, we gotta all make sure this is like funny and laughing and jovial. Like that's not, I don't think that's the way that he works or these movies work, or I think kind of anything is, I think it's all this, it's all of it. It's all of the things, kind of like life is. Like it's all the things all the time.
Yeah, I had a teacher that once said the itness is the exercise that I really just love, because that's what it felt like making this movie. Like whatever it was, you know, and that was the scene.
That woman over there keeps staring at me.
Do you know her?
No.
In the beginning, before the rehearsal process, I probably approached it in a somewhat similar way as I do other parts and projects, in the sense that I always just kind of feel like I'm circling something, looking for the most exciting way in for me, so I don't feel like I'm working. So I feel like I'm just sort of following my curiosity and following some trail. And so through that, you know, constantly trying to make sure that it's not coming from a place of trying to be clever, but coming from something that serves the story and, like I said, is evocative for you. And then it's always about throwing all of it away and seeing what happens, because that's where it gets interesting.
Miss King, hi. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mark Ball. This is my wife, Stephanie Ball.
It was the way that I was making films before all the time, before I made Poor Things especially, which was all shot in a studio, and you had to light everything and construct everything and design everything. But it was something that I was very much used to before. So yes, it was, you know, a pleasure to just, you know, go back into real locations, have all these, you know, surprises. I mean, some of the surprises end up being really negative, not very pleasant. But I mean, that's also part of it, and I kind of enjoy that. Like, you have to work those things in the film, whether if you want it or not. So, but it does make you more creative, and it does pose certain limitations, which I think sometimes help with filmmaking. So yeah, we were all very excited to just go to into something simpler, but then of course you realize it's not simple at all, because again, as I said, like, there's so many things that can go wrong that you never imagined in everyday filming, that, you know, it becomes complex again, but only in a very different way.
This is it. The moment of truth. I think that's part of the great gift about being an actor, is you get to actually do kind of exposure therapy to all different parts of your mind, your experience, all these things. You get to live in it. You're allowed to live in it. It's a safe space to live in it. You're, you know, and yeah, I think everything changes you, or at least changes me. I can't speak for you, Billy, because you've always been free and fun. And
baby, you can speak for me.
Okay.
Well, you know what? You speak pretty good.
Oh, but I think it always has a little bit of an effect on your worldview and how you know, just look at people and how we all interact with each other. And yeah. Isn't it wonderful?